Hey, I got this video idea from TSO Sage. He did this exact same video, but for the NBA. It was gas, so I'm giving it a shot. The format of this video is going to be, I'm going to present a team in my personal opinion on what their weakness is, then give my opinion on that team in general. All right, who's first?
The Houston Texans.
Yeah, the whole damn team. Jokes aside though, you guys just lack talent, and y'all were hurt most of the year. As of writing this, T-Mobile is 2-2 as a starter, and most people thought y'all would only beat, the Jets. You guys started a third round rookie quarterback for a few games, and he almost beat the damn Patriots. So y'all are trash, but you guys are setting up a good foundation for the future.
The New York Jets. Zach Wilson.
And I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is ass. I say Zach Wilson because this offense needs to be built around him and his skills. And this season is just figuring out what works with them, Now the injury slowed that down a bit, but you understand. You guys build an O-line, get one fringe top 10 pass catcher, and this offense is set. But the defense is also extremely inconsistent and doesn't show up against top offenses. Of course, your own offense being ass doesn't really help, and it's not fair to call the defense ass because of that, but it is what it is.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Inexperience. Now that I think about it, the Jags and Jets are kind of mirror images of each other. So I'm just going to throw in something that I forgot to say about the Jets as it applies to the Jags too. Now, you have a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback playing for a losing organization. These guys are still trying to find their footing. Actually, let me go on a quick tangent. I've seen YouTubers that I respect make impulse videos calling for Urban Meyer's job. Tee the fuck up. I get fans and other commentators talking, shit like that. Like people who don't really make football commentary. But you dudes literally make football videos every day, doing hours of research, and y'all can't put two and two together that a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback equals a shitty season, right? Sean McVay and Cliff Kingsbury made some waves as rookie coaches, but they went to good organizations. The Jets and the Jags have been ass for years. If you think putting a Gucci sweater on is going to negate the fact that you haven't showered in a week, you're out of your fucking mind. This year, the Jets and the Jags should be looking for improvement, and so far they are improving over this last stretch. And again, I get fans and casuals calling for their jobs, but y'all are pseudo analysts and y'all are out here making fan takes, you know what I'm saying? And when y'all were saying that kind of stuff when he had the little club video leak or whatever, I get it, I understand. We got a call with a night out or something, and there's not really a defense for it except for let the man live his life. His wife knew he was going out, and people were out there oh, he lied to the team, he said he was going up to see his wife or go hang out with the kids or whatever. That video was taken, I'm assuming, at nighttime, so y'all just negated the fact that he could have potentially been with his family during the day and then went to the club at night. Should he have been at the fucking club? I can't tell you that. I mean, in hindsight, yes, but a lot of NFL players go to the club, go to these kinds of places, in this, that, and the third. I mean, Ray Lewis had a whole murder charge because he went to a goddamn club and this, that, and the third. These guys have lives, so thinking that just because they're in the NFL or just because he's a head coach, he's going to be cooped up in an office all day, and then just because somebody took a clout-chasing picture with him, oh, fire him, they're not doing X, Y, and Z, that's fucking wild, bro. That's really wild. If the organization still looks like this next year, if it's still this tragic, they're still owing whatever, they're still getting blown out next year, okay, I get it. But to make these videos 6-7 games into their fucking career is just wild, bro. It's just wild. All right, tangent over.
The Miami Dolphins.
Not gonna lie, the expectations for this team were way too high. While the expectations were a playoff team, you guys did earn that expectation. after last season. But your weakness is y'all have absolutely no running game, like to the point where I don't even know who your starting running back is. Is Jay Ajayi still on that team? I don't think so. Besides not being able to run the ball, you guys have kind of a Madden team. Y'all have a bunch of speed receivers and an inconsistent offensive line. Your defense is amazing, but it's hard for them to flex their muscles because they're too busy trying to carry the damn team. But on a side note, y'all are flirting with mediocrity right now. This team, this is a team that a generational quarterback can carry. Like if y'all had 2015 Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, one of those guys, y'all would be, a deep threat. But right now, Tua is growing, and he's nowhere near that level of play yet. He could potentially get there because he's just keeps improving. But also, y'all don't have that X wide receiver. Jalen Waddle was a beast, right? He's a good number 1 target, but he would be an elite to number 2, or even a crazy good number 3 slot guy. Sprinkle him in, like a Justin Jefferson to Adam Thielen, or Chris Godwin to a Mike Evans. There's probably more accurate duos out there, but you get what I'm saying.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bro, the fact that y'all are still competitive is wild. I want to say talent is what's killing y'all, and it really is, but the defense is so good, and Mike Tomlin and his staff are just making everyone on the offense look better than they actually are. But honestly, Ben Roethlisberger is what Drew Brees was last year physically. I mean, physically, he's the worst quarterback in the NFL, but he's so experienced and great at the things that you can't measure that it's being covered up. The problem with this team is you guys need a little bit more talent on offense. Like another Antonio Brown would be awesome. And passing up on quarterbacks the last 5 years finally caught up to y'all. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all snuck into the playoffs, but I also won't be surprised if y'all end up 8-9 or 9-8. But as for Ben Roethlisberger, of course, like his experience is making him look way better than what. You know what I'm saying? Like his experience is kind of carrying him at this point. It's kind of overshadowing the fact that he's physically the worst quarterback in the league. But that's not to say that there's going to be games where it is clearly evident that Ben Roethlisberger is washed up. And it's unfortunate that you guys really just passed on quarterbacks the last couple of years. You passed on Patrick Mahomes. I wanted y'all to get Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. I wanted y'all to get both of those guys. I wanted you to get Justin Fields. A lot of people wanted y'all to get Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just passed up on quarterbacks the last couple of years, and it's finally caught up to you. And hey, it is what it is.
The Cleveland Browns.
Locker room. Look, y'all just turned on each other. There's no debating that the talent is here, talent wise. This is the best team in the AFC. The problem is y'all turned on each other. The chemistry was often on. Add in the fact that some key players got hurt. Speaking of hurt, y'all are doing Baker Mayfield horrible. Like, what's happening to Baker Mayfield right now is the reason why Andrew Luck retired early. Honestly, y'all just need a more stable locker room. You guys have all the physical things in check, but this team let overhype and adversity collapse the pedestal that y'all were on. Y'all had it going. Y'all really had it going, but y'all had kind of a shaky start, and y'all let that in a video tweeted out by Odell Beckham's dad just completely tear the team apart. And right now y'all are doing Baker atrocious, but I already made a video about that.
The Denver Broncos.
Matchups. Y'all are a top 10 team, but injuries and a mediocre quarterback is holding you back. It sucks that injuries hold Teddy Bridgewater, but to be honest, he is pretty much the same quarterback he was before the injury, just a little less athletic, right? But the reason why I say matchups are your weakness is because some games y'all destroy good teams, then y'all will lose to someone worse than y'all. You guys have a great defense, but your offense is inconsistent. Now, I can't tell you specifically what your offense struggles against, but sometimes the receiving core goes off. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes they're inconsistent. Sometimes the running game goes crazy. Most of the time it's pretty quiet. So the inconsistent receiving days, I put that on Teddy Two Gloves. He's a good quarterback. He's not great. He's good. You know what I'm saying? There are some quarterbacks that elevate the team. There are some teams, make the team better than what they are. Think Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson or last year's Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. Teddy isn't that kind of guy. He's just a guy like whatever your team is, he plays to that level of your team. In the run game, I put that on the offensive line or the coaching. I'm not an accurate judge of offensive line play, so I'll leave that up for PFF and things of that nature. I don't know the specifics, but I'm sure you can agree that the offense is the issue for the Denver Broncos.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Defense. You guys have been through a lot this season, and it's kind of undermined how good y'all are. I honestly dislike how the mainstream media is covering y'all. When you win, nobody cares. When you lose, they say, "Aw," you know what I'm saying? They're a team going through X, Y, and Z. But despite losing your coach and the other issues, as tragic as one was and how stupid the other one was, it doesn't really have effect on your play, right? Like, besides losing your coach, but the other things, right? They act like the NFL locker rooms are a bunch of pre-K kids. You know, these are grown adults. A majority of them are fighting for their job and paychecks every day. So no matter what's going on, you know, they're going to play their hearts out. They're not going to be over there, I don't want to catch this pass because homeboy got in the, wreck. I don't want to block this guy because homeboy just got cut for waving around weapons on that's not how it works. But anyways, your weakness is defense because you're constantly getting into shootouts. That's pretty much all of your wins at this point. And the problem is, this is the NFL, despite the record, everyone is good. And sometimes a team will have the drop on you. And if someone has a drop on your offense, it's just GG's for the day.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Pressure. Bro, we are the AFC version of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, ever since I started actually watching football games, NFL games in 2016s, the Chargers are always one of the best teams in the league, but we just cannot perform under pressure. If the game is close within 3 to 5 minutes left, it's kind of like, how are we going to mess it up this time? Dumb pick. Drop picks, blocked kicks, muffled pumps. You know what I'm saying? You name it, we've lost by it. And, when we beat the Chiefs this year and when we beat the Steelers, I thought we finally got our mojo. We're finally going to be clutch. But then we got a bad matchup against the Broncos and got washed. Talent isn't the issue in Los Angeles, and for the most part, I believe it never was. It's just we can't win close games. We are hella fun to watch, but we can't be clutch. Speaking of things we can't do, we could never stop the run for some reason. Even if we make the playoffs, teams just run a Madden 20 offense on us, and for fuck's sake, we can never beat the damn Patriots.
The Indianapolis Colts.
Receivers. At first, it was chemistry. It's Carson Wentz first year in Indianapolis, you know what I'm saying, with these teammates. So it's going to take a while for them to adjust to each other and get the ball rolling. And so far, y'all are starting to get it going. Are you at max potential? I don't watch enough Colts games to tell you if you're at that. But I can tell you this. The weakness of the Indianapolis Colts are your receivers. Besides Michael Pittman, I want you to name another Colts receiver or tight end. Exactly. It's so bad that when I wrote this, I just Googled T.Y. Hilton to see if he's still on the team. Now, I like Michael Pittman a lot. He also has a YouTube channel, if you didn't know. Anyways, besides that, I like Michael Pittman. He's a tall, physical receiver, which leads to some cool highlight plays. But he's not that dude yet. Neither is Paris Campbell, even though he did have a phenomenal start to the season, according to some YouTube commentators. But as far as I see so far, they're not that dudes yet. These are nice receivers, don't get me wrong, but do you expect Michael Pittman to go off for 80 to 100 yards against the New England Patriots defense? Is Paris Campbell beating Tre'Davious White one-on-one? Game on the line. I know Tre'Davious White is hurt, but you get my point.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yourselves. Honestly, you guys are vastly overachieving this season, and if it wasn't already a wild season, this would be considered, a magical run for you guys. Your weakness is your offensive line, but Joe Burrow and your receiving core are so dominant, it's rare for that issue to be really exploited for the most part. You guys show you guys have shown that you can go toe to toe with great teams when you don't shoot yourselves in the foot. If you guys keep this up, you'll make the playoffs, and this offensive line issue that I alluded to might pop up, or the lack of star pass rushers might pop up. But right now, the only thing that can really stop you is yourselves. If it's an off day for y'all, you know it's going to look bad. But when it's on, you guys can beat anybody.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Running game. Yeah, you guys have the best quarterback in football, but he's playing hero ball because y'all can't run the ball for shit. It could be the O-line's fault. I mean, but even last year, y'all couldn't really run the ball. And I know the media wants to say y'all can't play patient football, but that's kind of BS. Let's keep it a stack. You guys can't run the ball, and your receiving core outside of Tyreek Hill is overrated. You guys either need a third pass catcher that's good and can take the load off of Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, or you need a running game. But despite that, y'all are kind of giving me Patriots vibes. I feel like y'all are gonna, y'all are gonna pick it up soon. But yeah, that's pretty much the issue with the Chiefs. People want to go around pointing the finger at Patrick Mahomes. Is he regressing? Is X, Y, and Z going on? What's going on with the Chiefs? Have they found their mojo? Have they not? Yeah, they're fine. It's just teams are kind of catching up to them, and they're still adjusting to how to beat what's being thrown at them. But they're giving me Patriots vibes. I feel like you guys are starting to get it back rolling, and y'all are going to make a deep playoff run and potentially get to where we thought you guys would be, which would be in the AFC Championship / the Super Bowl.
The Tennessee Titans.
Ryan Tannehill. Despite never having any big names on your defense is, at least since I started watching football, has always been an underrated part of the team, or at least not talked about. The defense is really good, and we see this every time y'all play the Ravens, sadly. Nonetheless, this team's weakness is Ryan Tannehill. I was going to make a video when Derrick Henry got hurt titled, "We are about to learn a lot about Ryan Tannehill," because see, the media has it out for Baker Mayfield, right? Some analysts don't like him for his personality. Some attack him because he's on a popular team at this point in time. But Ryan Tannehill has been carried by his run game just as much over the last few years, but nobody cares. The question for this team isn't talent. It's, will Ryan Tannehill show up in big moments? Will he carry the team? And that's yet to be answered. His first game without Derrick Henry, he went off, you know what I'm saying? But after the loss to the Patriots, it's looking grim. But this is another reason why I got beef with the media. I posted this short the other day.
I was laughed at. Moral victories don't count. You don't think so? Well, now they are rearing their ugly heads in a 6-game winning streak. Now, look, people will be like, well, Wilds, hold on. The Ravens have won 8 in a row. I guess. Did you watch the game last night? Were you impressed by the Ravens? What about the Titans? They've got 8 wins too. Yeah, that's true. We just beat them by 23 points. So yes, I think we have the best record in the AFC. I'm counting last night's Ravens game as a loss for Lamar.
All right, so before that clip, he started talking about how the Patriots are great on offense and defense. But then when he gets the chance to say, explain how good they are, he decides to put down other teams and take a shot at the Ravens. If anything, that game showed how great the Ravens defense is and how much that offense relies on Lamar Jackson. But what that reminded me of is, have you ever heard the quote in a movie or whatever where they say a bully is making fun of you because he's insecure about something, and the only way he can feel good is to put you down? And it's wild in this segment where they rub the Patriots nuts. They didn't mention the fact that both Julio Jones and AJ Brown were injured this game. You know what I'm saying? I had to figure that out through I had to figure it out through a YouTube commentary. Teams can barely score on the Patriots regardless, but you add in the fact that they were missing their 2 top receivers and the best running back in the league. Of course you're going to get blown out. But yeah, the weakness for this team is Ryan Tannehill. I'm not saying that like he's bad, but the team is good enough everywhere else. He's the last variable that needs an input. It sucks you guys never get like fair coverage when you win. When you win, nobody cares unless they're doing team rankings. And when you lose, everybody points fingers at you. That's tragic.
The New England Patriots.
Receivers. The Patriots are on that late season push we're all familiar with. You guys are definitely the hottest team in the AFC. But when you're winning, nobody wants to bring you down to earth or at least prep you for the worst. The weakness for the New England Patriots is receivers. I keep saying New England, really funny. The run game in that offensive line overshadows the fact that your receiving core is average. Now, having the best coach in the NFL certainly helps too, but nonetheless, it's average. Hunter Henry and Delaney Walker are great tight ends and they're going to make plays, but we've seen this with the Baltimore Ravens the last 2 years. Tight ends or a tight end can only take you so far. I'm going to use the same argument I used against the other receivers. Do you trust Kendrick Bourne to beat Jalen Ramsey with the game on the line? Do you expect him to beat Tre'Davious White, Jair Alexander? Definitely not. And I know Tre'Davious White is hurt and the other two cornerbacks are in the NFC, but you get my point, right? Do you even expect them to go crazy against Denzel Ward? There's no debating that Bourne, Myers, and especially N'Keal Harry are average or below average, but there's no debating that the Patriots have been winning for years with no name and one-hit wonder receivers, and you guys notoriously run the ball well in the playoffs. So the only thing stopping y'all right now is an off day or a bad matchup, and I can't really think of a bad matchup for you guys right now.
The Buffalo Bills.
Run game, just like the Chiefs. Now, right now, the Bills and the Chiefs are pretty much twins. I wouldn't say identical, though, because you guys play better defense and your wide receivers are slightly better. But the issue for you guys is the running game. Y'all can't run the ball for shit. And I know there's some games left, but it's the NFL, right? You know, teams with a horrible defense will have good defensive days. Teams with sorry receivers will have good passing games. But either it's flying under the radar or y'all can't even get the lucky day on the ground. I hear your offensive line is also trash, but Josh Allen is so good that nobody really talks about it. So I can't tell you if our offensive line is ass or not. You guys don't have any kind of tight end whatsoever. Is Dawson Knox still on that team? I have no idea. I mean, 29 other teams don't have a great tight end, but damn, I can't even name yours, and that's crazy judging how much you guys throw the ball. And I'm going to make this argument for Lamar Jackson, but now that I think about it, Josh Allen deserves this argument too. If you look at MVP, by definition, the most valuable player, Josh Allen should be a strong candidate for this because this offense lives and dies with him.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Offense. I want to put injuries on here, but every team has injuries, and it sucks that, you know, who got injured on this roster. There are 2 and 2. There are 4 more issues than just injuries. Anyways, like I said for Josh Allen, if you look at MVP for what it stands for, most valuable player, Lamar Jackson is the clear-cut MVP. His defense is awesome but inconsistent. It's been performing against trash or bad offenses in the Chargers, but besides that, they've been inconsistent. I mean, 41 to the Bengals, 33 to the Raiders, 31 to the Vikings. They're a liability versus explosive offenses. And I didn't mention the Chiefs because, I mean, we expect the Chiefs to drop 30 on everyone, but Lamar Jackson has been 2015 Cam Newton the last 3 years, especially this year. Besides the 15-1 record that they had, you know, that season with Cam, Lamar is playing better than Cam did. Besides his offensive line, Lamar Jackson is carrying this sorry ass offense. Also, Mark Andrews. So it's Mark Andrews, the offensive line, and Lamar carrying this sorry ass offense. The receiving core is horrible. Devin Duvernay is all right, you know, but remember what I said about Kendrick Bourne. Rashad Bateman has potential, but he's a rookie and needs to develop. I mean, if he was going to be that dude at day one, don't you think he would have went as high as a Jamar Chase, a Jalen Waddle, etc., etc.? And Sammy Watkins is not very good, okay? Well, he's good, but you'll hear what I'm about to say. You know your receiving core is bad when the highlight of the offseason was picking up the fringe 3rd/4th string receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's literally Lamar and Mark Andrews at this point. And every time this team faces someone with either a good defense or good corners, it's going to be a shaky game. I mean, look at the Dolphins game. They have 2 really good corners, and it was wraps. Look at the Browns game. They have a great defense with Garrett, Clowney, Denzel Ward. I believe they have Grant Delpit. They don't have Grant Delpit. They have Chauncey Gardner. You know what I'm saying? We see how that went. Not to mention, y'all can't run the ball either after losing all your running backs. You guys are vastly overachieving given what you're dealing with, but the worst part about this is Lamar has to go Kaioken times 20 every game, not just the playoffs like I wrote here. Because although the media has accepted him as a top tier quarterback, I don't think they're going to have the nuts to call out the offense around him when this team loses to the Patriots in the playoffs, or if they lose to Buffalo again. And you see this, Lamar Jackson had a bad game against the Browns, right? He threw 4 interceptions, and now people are talking about, he has X amount of interceptions in X amount of games. You see them talking about, he needs to rebound, this, that. They're talking about it, but they're not pointing out the fact that, one, they can't run the ball like they have been since Lamar got there, right? They haven't been able to run the ball like that, and they're still, I think they're 7-4 now. You guys are 7 at something, right? And the fact that the receiving core is bad, okay? Like, it's still bad. Sammy Watkins or not, it's bad. Anyways, that is 16 teams, 16 weaknesses. Do you agree or disagree? That's my personal opinion on these teams and the weaknesses. But I got a task for y'all. You guys get this video to 30 likes. Yeah, I was going to do 25. But you get this to 30 likes and I'll do the NFC version of this video. Also, remember, shout out to TSO Sage. I got this video idea from him. But nonetheless, hey, I mean, I don't expect y'all to reach the goal of 30 likes. I mean, 92% of you guys don't even know who I am. I should be popping the screenshot, the video up, the picture up now. But hey, for the literal 3% of you that are consistently here and rock with your boy, remember, if you know, man, because we know we up next. Sponsored by Atari and